Dear friends, I'm very excited because this is the first Zoom meeting, Zoom panel with one of our program guests here at the Galactic Imaginarium Film Festival. We have Adrian Chifu, who is a music composer and performer. I don't know which was first, probably performer, and after that composer. Welcome to our online panel, Adrian Chifu.
Hello and nice to see you. Glad to be here. As you said, I am mainly, I consider myself a composer, not a performer, because I'm better at composing. Performing is it's another art. So, or it's an art and plus something beside the composing. And I'm more on the stay put and do things than have some public and people watching me. So yes, I'm a composer.
When your interest in music came, I suppose at an early age.
Well, my mother was a singer. My mother was a folk singer and a composer. She didn't pursue his talent, but he was at a moment at I don't know 10 years in a folk ensemble in Timișoara, and she performed some uh, some shows. But those years were in before 1990s, on the communist era, and she used to sing in the house, sing by voice. She was a voice singer. Early voice in the house, a beautiful voice for me. When he was uh, I was a baby, and approach to the music, this love to music because of her. I don't think that if he was my mother didn't like music. I think that I wasn't in the music side, and as a composer, I think that it come a bit lately in I don't know 10 in when I was 10 or 12 years old. It was something. It was very primitive, very simple. I I think that I done this because to copy her or to make with her a duo. I don't know. I don't remember, but the songs were very simple, and the real music, the real composing came a lot later in my 20s uh, when I had to choose between a typewriter and keyboard, and I choose the keyboard because in my 20s I also write some text, and I had to speed up my writings with the typewriter to do some music, and I choose the uh, keyboard, which was a very simple keyboard, but it has a very unique, for me, unique uh, way of sampling, and it was a sampler. So yes, my background in music isn't a very rich one. That do not go very back in time, but I had a very nice childhood because of my mother, because she was every day singing in my house, and it was enough for me.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. No,
What?
it's okay.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you. I know that you perform within a band, an electronic music band. Could you tell us more about this?
Yes, that was in back in 1993 when after I got that synthesizer, I meet some guy, Felix Petrescu, and he was on the computer side of the music. He was already he had a computer, one of the first computers, and he was also making music, but on the computer with samplings. Back in those days, there weren't VSTs yet, virtual sampling instrument. I don't know how it's pronounced. And when we meet, and we decided right on the spot that we have to do a show. We haven't any idea about a show. We didn't had uh, uh, many songs uh, composed, but we decided that it's okay for us to do a show, and not in other part than a big show in a student house, Casa Studenților from Timișoara. And I don't know, in the next day we got there, and we asked that if they can allow us to do a music concert in the big hall, and they were right on the spot. Yes, of course, because maybe I was a student, and it's okay for students to show their talents. I don't know, and we booked a show next month. We didn't had any idea about the show, about tracks, music tracks, but we made yes, a music band named Urban Experience, and we had the show in 1994 in the autumn, September of October, and it was a very interesting show because it came a lot of people. We made our uh, show between the students. No, and it was a good show. And we had the next year our first album on the cassette, and the second one in 1996 in the Bucharest, another cassette album. And
Adi,
we performed. Yeah.
could you lower your camera to see your to see your
Okay,
face?
okay, okay, okay. And we had a lot of shows with a lot of the concerts, and we were the ones to be on the first TM Base event back in 1997. And since then, we had shows in Cluj, and we mainly were dance music band, rave, techno, and jungle, and whatever. Well, back in those days.
Okay, after these introductory questions, let's dive in our subject, which is music in science fiction and fantasy films. But the music is very important in general in the films. So what is the role of the music in films, in your opinion?
Well, I gave a thought on this subject, and I think that there are a lot of good movies that haven't 1 second of music. they have only sound effect and voices and Foley and whatever. But the music can become a very important part of the movie. It can enhance and enhance the what the viewer, the experience of the viewer, and in the same time it can bring down, if it's not correctly applied, uh, uh, the atmosphere. There are a lot of movies that became very known by the music. Uh, Chariots of Fire of Vangelis. It's one movie that became very known because of the main theme, not by the movie itself. I don't think so, because the movie is okay, but the soundtrack and the main theme, uh, it's beyond beyond music. And yes, I think that it's very important, the music, because it's it's another. It brings some plus on the visual side of the movie.
How would you define cinematic music? Music really good for the films?
Well, that's a problem, because that this is about how personally understand the cinematic music, and how you or another person or the composer understand the cinematic music. I think that uh, music music being cinematic, for me it's some kind of music that has a rhythm, that has uh, some harmonies, and some goes much into the, I don't know, into the dynamic part of the music. You cannot have a very cinematic music, by my opinion, into a comedy movie, or a romantic uh, movie. You can have very good, I don't know, songs in romantic movies, but not cinematic. But by cinematic, it's some kind of when you have an action, when you have something uh, that it's dynamic on the screen, and you help the atmosphere, you enhance with some sounds, because the music it's sounds and rhythm, and that is this is the way I think about the cinematic music. Uh, it's not something that you must have, or you want to have in every movie, or in every scene.
You said, and I'm totally agreeing with you, that it's a matter of personal perception what a
Yes.
cinematic music means. For me, I say that good cinematic music is the music that during the screening of the film, I don't hear the music, even if the music is playing, because it's so embedded in the film and with the action that it's part of whole of the process of cultural process that is performing before me. So this is for me a good cinematic music.
Yes, I think that what you're saying, it's more on the mixing side of the music, because yes, in some instances, the music is way too loud, or way too thinner, way too silenced than it must be. But yes, it's a point of view.
So let's get into our main and favorite subjects, science fiction and fantasy films. I think this is kind of a tricky question What kind of music suits better a science fiction film? An electronic music or a classical orchestra music?
Well, both or either, because it's about you. I see the music as a cluster of sounds. And if you want to say something, you have to carefully choose the sounds and the rhythm, their rhythm of those sounds. And if you choose wrong, I don't know, it doesn't suit the what's on the screen. But on the sci-fi movies, I don't think that is very important. The the kind the way you have your sounds, because you can have orchestral sounds uh, synthesized. Nowadays, a lot of composers have their orchestra sounds in sampled, so and or in the synthesized way. So only few of them work with live orchestra. So in a way, I don't. Yes, the what you're asking, it's a good asking, but good question, but. Uh, on the basics, it's more on the composer side, because I had in mind a lot of sci-fi music, sci-fi movies in which the music it's either orchestral, either electronic, or mixed. Because Vangelis used to mix those sounds. He worked with live orchestras and had synthesizers in uh, I don't know, Blade Runner, in Church of Fire, and any other composer, Hans Zimmer. Uh, they work with live orchestras, and they had their own synthesizers. So I don't know what I think that the composer decides, or the side of the I don't know, the personality of the composer. I working with VSTs, and I'm working with electronic synthesized sounds. For me, is the electronics part, but for a real composer who made the music school or music high school, and he work with, he knows very well the orchestra. Maybe the orchestra is better.
Yes, that's also my opinion. You can see many films that have synthesizer music, and it suits very well the film. Also, you talked about Hans Zimmer, which is mainly uses orchestra. I was at a concert with his music and was on full orchestra on the stage,
Yes,
and it sounds superb. And he has music for science fiction movies. All of us science fiction film fans know the titles, and it's the same very good results either using an orchestra or a synthesizer for the music. And talking about composers, who are your top three film music composers, and please tell us why.
well, the first for me is and will be forever Vangelis, and because Vangelis is for me is the one of the few composer that understood music, that understood the way of making sounds, the way of putting them together, and the way that those sounds have to be uh, in the soundtrack for the movie. For me, the Blade Runner soundtrack is the best. I don't know if there are. I don't know the few. There are few. I don't know, 3 or 4 soundtracks that are the best soundtracks, and Blade Runner is one of them. for me is the first place, and until now nothing took his place. Not even Hans Zimmer with his beautiful and very good compositions. Uh, I don't know. The Blade Runner is the one. So Vangelis is the first. On the second place come Hans Zimmer because he is, for me, I have to say it, is more professional than Vangelis. Hans Zimmer is more on. He is one of the pioneers of the electronic music. He made his own synthesizers, and he's a very good. I have to say, I think that is the real and the only composer that uh, knows knows what composing means. He has also a lot of VSTs of the samples coming from his mind. Uh, the movies, the Interstellar or other soundtracks are one of the best. So he's the second, and the third place is very hard to choose because there are a lot of good uh, composers, old or new. But I had to go with John Williams because he's the father, not the father, the one that made a lot of good soundtracks. And I have to say here that I think that the new composers forgot one thing, one very important thing about making music for movies is the main theme. The first time you see the when the movie begin, you have to have a soundtrack that the viewers will remember. And who doesn't remember the Star Wars or Superman or other movies main theme? Even Vangelis, when with Church of Fire, try to do a main theme very good. And in I don't know, last 20 years, 30 years, can someone tell me a main theme? Main theme have to be a whistle. You have to sing. Everyone, every viewer can sing that main theme. Or in the last 30 or 20 years, I don't know a main theme like Chairs of Fire or I don't know. Once upon a time in America, other that aren't. That it's not a thing that the new composers try to do. Even Hans Zimmer. So these are Vangelis, Hans Zimmer, and John Williams.
Thank you. And one very important question, because in the last years, I usually bother by the quantity of music in films. How much music must be in a film in general and in a science fiction film in particular?
Well, this is another good question that have a very easy answer, and either way, because I when I watch a movie, I pay attention to a lot of things in that movie, especially to the cast, to the editing, to the music, to the everything, to the sound effect, and I saw movies that music never stops, and movies that have only very short parts of music. So I think that the music it's the music in movies has a lot of I don't know of people who decide the director, the composer, the editor has a good part in it. So I don't know if it's all the way from the beginning until the end, never stops. It's okay if it sounds okay. if have only if it has only parts of music, it's okay. I don't know if the music is good, if the music uh, came along with the visual, if the music doesn't sound too loud, or you have to. In the part, if it's on the lower side, it's not a problem, but not to be louder, because there is the there is a saying, not a saying. There is a this is director, the last that I who made Tenet and Oppenheimer. What's his name?
Nolan, Christopher Nolan.
Nolan. Yes, he has a, a very unique way of putting music soundtrack in his movies. A lot of times the dialogue is lower than the soundtrack, and he's by his will. I don't know why. A lot of people don't like this, but he was saying that this is his way of showing that the dialogue is important, but it's not something that you cannot go without it. Or I don't know, but so I don't know. It's about the director and the editor, I think, because the composer, he composed music. He I don't know. I think it's about the director and editor.
Okay, and now a very timely linked question, because this is a problem that will bother many fields of activity. Will AI, artificial intelligence, make the film composers obsolete?
Yeah, this is a problem because a lot of people thought that the AI will took the designer's job away, and did not, and will never. I had to say this. The AI will never took the job away from the good designers. The AI will never took the job away from the good music composers. Never, never. Yes, 90% will go without jobs, because 99% of designers and music composers are not good. So I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a good. It's a good evolution in the field, because you see what's going on now in Hollywood with and in 2 years or 3 years, the AI might replace the actors and the directors, and a lot of things will change. But we don't have to worry about this. We have to embrace this, because this is a tool. AI is a tool. It's not something that come for us to destroy us, or to revenge some, I don't know what. AI is a tool, and every composer, every designer, every whatever, if he will embrace this tool, will have will have to speed up the process to gain a lot of new ways of making, I don't know, music or design or illustration or any other way. It's a good thing for me, and I think that yes, we replace some of the composer, but some of them will prevail, will have eye by their side, and will go a long way, and will be very good. Will be I am very optimistic about this.
And the last question, please share with us some thoughts about Romanian film composers.
Well, I had to search on the internet for this, because I didn't know anyone, but Adrian Enescu, I know him. He is for me one of the best electronic music composers in the world.
He died.
Funky synthesizers, funky synthesizers 1 and 2 are very good music albums. I know that I listen at least once a year the funky synthesizers 1 and 2, and I search for the Romanian music composers and I didn't find uh, because I think that the database isn't complete and isn't it's a very weak database about them. And I tried to remember movies, and I even from the part of the movies, science fiction movies that aren't very, I don't know, 10 that worth to mention. Hyperion. What Hyperion is a movie that made me by I don't know 30 years wanting to go to Volcano de Roche because
Was filmed there.
there, yes, and finally I got last year, and Commedia Fantastica and Galax. I didn't find any information about Galax in IMDb on the site. Galax was is a movie about a robot. I I remember uh, made of wood, and very interesting movie. Very interesting movie. So I'm sorry, but Adrian Nescu is the only one that I can say about the Romanian. Maybe, and are some. Uh, I don't know some. I don't remember. I don't remember. I searched, but very weak is the information about them.
Adrian, thank you very much for your presence here on our online panel. I must say that Adrian is a partner of our festival. He donated his music for our trailers. All the trailers of the festival are made with his music, and we are very happy to finally have him also on the panel to talk about film music. Thank you very much, and of course we hope to see you again, maybe on location in the following editions of the film festival.
Okay. Thank you, Darius. Thanks.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.